And to details. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Thursday directed to scrutinize all details regarding Egyptian Family Development Project in order to be integrated with presidential initiatives in the sector of health care and social protection. The president also directed to increase medical convoys and to boost executive mechanisms used by those initiatives. El-Sisi ordered to set up an institutional mechanism to evaluate the outcomes of the Egyptian Family Development Project. These came during the president's meeting with Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Higher Education Khalid Abdel Ghaffar, Minister of Planning Hala Said, Minister of Social Solidarity Niveen El-Qabbaj, Presidential Advisor for Health Affairs Muhammad Awad Tajuddin, and Head of the National Council for Women Maya Morsi. President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi on Thursday directed to continue to develop state assets and use it in an optimal by Egypt's sovereign fund in a way that serves the coming generations. The president also directed to boost the fund's efforts in attracting investments for the interest of the national economy. These came during the president's meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli, Minister of Planning Hala Said, and CEO of Egypt's sovereign fund Ayman Sulaiman. Presidential spokesman Ambassador Bassam Radi said that the meeting tackled the efforts exerted by Egypt's sovereign fund, including pumping direct investments in various sectors. Prime Minister Dr. Mustafa Madbouli has followed up preparations to host the 21st summit of the heads of state and governments of the common markets for Eastern and South Africa, COMESA, which is slotted for the 23rd of November in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. The details.
Prime Minister Mustafa Madbouli said President el-Sisi had given his directives to enhance and develop the regional integration as well as consolidating trade ties between Egypt and member states of the common markets for Eastern and South Africa, COMESA. This came during his meeting with a number of ministers and senior state officials to follow up preparations to host the 21st summit of the heads of state and governments of COMESA, which is slated for the 23rd of November in the Red Sea resort of Sharm el-Sheikh. Madbouli asserted that Egypt's hosting of the summit reflects its fixed faith and its abiding by the enhancement of the common action to increase the economic growth in addition to confronting all obstacles that hinder free trade among COMESA states, plus dealing with challenges resulted in the coronavirus pandemic. He gave his instructions to all concerned authorities to exert utmost efforts to guarantee the success of this summit. The Prime Minister stressed the significance of Egypt's expected chairmanship of COMESA, as it will be handed over the presidency in the upcoming summit after 20 years since its latest chairmanship in 2001. Premier Madbouli noted that Egypt had actively contributed in consolidating the economic and trade cooperation among COMESA member states. He reiterated that Egypt is keen to prop up trade ties with African states, especially that regional cooperation through trade blocs have become one of the most important mechanisms to achieve development.
Sameh Shukri met on Thursday with UN Special Envoy for the Middle East, Tor Wennesland, where they discussed means of boosting peace process. Spokesman of the Foreign Ministry, Ahmad Hafiz, said that during the meeting, Shukri reiterated Egypt's firm stance regarding the Palestinian cause. The details.
Foreign Minister Sameh Shukri met with the United Nations Special Coordinator for the Middle East peace process, Tor Wennesland. The meeting tackled the latest developments in the Palestinian cause and means to push forward the peace talks between the Palestinians and the Israelis, as well as Egypt's exerted efforts to resume the stalled peace negotiations. Shukri stressed the significance of reaching suitable climate to resume peace negotiations between the Palestinian and the Israeli sides. The top diplomat stressed that there should be a real will that aims at a serious movement on his track in coordination with the concerned regional and the international parties. He added that such will should be aimed at pushing forward the peace talks and holding an independent Palestinian state with Jerusalem as its capital in accordance with the international laws and legitimacy. Separately, the Arab League Secretary General Ahmed Abul Ghait met the United Nations Special Coordinator on the Palestinian file. The Arab League chief warned of the dangerous repercussions of the settlement's expansion. The settlers intensified attacks, demolishing houses as well as the stalled negotiations between the two sides. Abu Ghait expressed deep concern towards the escalating Israeli violations in the West Bank and Jerusalem. The pair discussed the deteriorating situation in the occupied Palestinian territories and the dangers of human deterioration in Gaza, in addition to hurdles resulted in huge economic difficulties faced by the Palestinian National Authority in the West Bank amid an absence of the unsettlement of the crisis.
And to details. Egypt's stock market indices declined, being affected by selling operations by Arab and foreign investors. The main EGX 30 index lost 0.62%. The small and medium EGX 70 index lost 2.67%. The more expanded EGX 100 index lost 1.98%. The overall transactions and dealings within this session reached £1.8 billion. The Suez Canal Authority's chairman, Osama Rabia, said on Thursday Egypt plans to raise fees by 6% on ships transiting the Suez Canal in 2022. Rabia added tankers transporting liquefied natural gas and tourist cruise ships will be excluded from the fee hike.